Hi, this is my quick video, not much of a review right now. I'm not going to be shooting this gun unfortunately, so I'll try to do that this weekend and hopefully get a decent video out. But basically this is the Crosman M4-177, just a tabletop review if you will. It shoots BBs or pellets, very consistently shoots pellets. I am surprised about it. There's a couple of things you really got to pay attention to when you're first getting it out of the box. Number one, the sights that it comes with, which are a aluminum base with a polymer actual sight, both front and rear, have the knobs, and they're intended to go on the left side. Pretty much a dead giveaway for that is that on here, on this side, you'll see the R, and it says turn it to the right to move the rear sight to the right. That wouldn't work if it was reversed. So that's one hint that that's how it works. Just to let you know, the first couple of days, 2 days that I had it, I was really having a hard time sighting it in. It just wouldn't adjust right. It didn't look centered or anything because I had this sight on backwards. I had the right side on the left. So just to point out, if I probably would have read the instructions, I probably would have done a better job right from the start. Okay, so there's a couple of other things. The stock is adjustable, has 6 positions. If it's fully extended, it's still a little bit short, but about right for an adult. Fully contracted, it's about good for a 6 or 7, maybe an 8-year-old. So it's suitable for small kids with supervision, but there's a little more than supervision involved here, because the pumping action for this, because it's a multi-pump, is kind of stiff. It's a very short grip actually, which is this is your pumping handle, and this is really difficult for a small kid to be able to do it. So it'll take an adult or a teenager or a slightly bigger kid to be able to pump it for the smaller kids. The little clips that it brings hold 5 pellets each, which is nice, but it only brings 1. I was able to find a 4 clip set from Crosman on Amazon for about $8 to $10, and I'll show you right here. The little magazine, the fake magazine that it brings, is actually the storage box. It normally would bring a little filler like this with space for the clip and for the sight adjustment tool, which is this one here, conveniently packaged with it. But it only has room for 1 clip, as you can see. So I took some similar packing foam, cut slots in it for 4 clips, and now I have the 1 loaded clip plus 4 in storage. A little more fun to be able to shoot 25 shots without having to stop and reload a clip. What else? There's a couple of other things. It does, of course, shoot BBs, and I've put a few in there just so it'll rattle around, but I really don't think I'm going to be shooting BBs out of this anymore. I did shoot it for the first few days, and it's not that it's not accurate. It's not as consistent as with a pellet, but I really just don't want to damage the rifling. I'm really happy with the way it shoots pellets, so I want to pretty much leave it like that. I'll show you why in a minute, why I have it rattling around like that, but there's a reason. Another thing I added to it was the Centerpoint tactical red-green dot scope. It's actually a pretty nice scope. It's not as good as anything above $100 out there, but for $30 you do get a pretty decent little 30 millimeter scope with red and green, so you can use it for daytime, night, or dusk kind of shooting. And I zeroed it in this afternoon. Shoots really well. Actually, this is my test sheet as I was playing with it. You can see this is at about 20 yards. And I was able to get 2 in the center in the same hole pretty good, so I can't really complain about that after a minor adjustment. And these targets, by the way, are from mytargets.com. Free targets you can print out. Very convenient, very nice. A lot of fun things to choose from there. They even have the 1-inch grid and the 1/2-inch grid, so you can really precisely zero in both iron sights and scopes. And this particular one is actually the 1/2-inch grid. You can see it's 1.5 inches from the top of this circle to the center of the bullseye. So if you're zeroing in a real AR in, you could actually zero it in by aiming here, and as soon as it's hitting here, you know you've got it zeroed in at 100 yards, assuming that you're using a 25 yard range to shoot in, which most indoor ranges seem to be around 25 or just a little more. So that's a good little target to use. Let's see, well, let's get to the little trick. Oh, wait, first, this. I just bought this, first time I ever used these Winchester branded pellets. There's 500, very reasonably priced from Amazon. I'm an Amazon shopper. And these were really clean. They're actually very consistent. I found them very, an absolute pleasure to shoot. They are hollow point, somewhat domed and hollow pointed, but they're really clean. I don't see any dust or anything. This came shipped, and I don't see any damaged skirts. There's a lot of them in there, so I don't think there was a lot of movement where they could damage the skirts. So that was a good thing. Happy with those. So those are the Winchester hollow point 1.77 caliber 500 count. Let's get to a little trick about the BBs. Let's say you're going out in the woods and you want to do a little shooting in the woods and not make a lot of noise rattling BBs around. You're just going to use your pellets for, say, hunting pests or something. If you had been using the gun for BBs and such, you'll hear that rattle, and it's really annoying. One of the things I like to do is I get these rare earth magnets, open up the little feed hole, put the magnet down, and just let the BBs come to you. There you go. So there's all 3 BBs that I had in there. Those last BBs that you can never get out, that's an easy way. That probably works with most BB guns. But that would take care of that problem right away. And now you're ready to go quietly stalking your prey, as it were. Well, one more thing about this little scope. I did put it on a quick disconnect, because as you saw on the other side, it has these knobs. It's a 5-slot quick disconnect from UTG. So the knobs would give it a slightly more permanent installation, but it doesn't let it co-witness so well if you put it right on the rail. But with this little, this is a 1/2-inch riser mount, I think. It's number RSQD 605 from UTG. Did also find it on Amazon, and I forget how much it was, but I'm sure it's reasonably priced, or you can watch it, see if it's on sale. But that is about the right height, perfect height really, for a 1/3 co-witness. So you can see right through your red dot scope and use your iron sights. Oh, it's a red and green dot scope. But anyway, you can use the iron sights. You can quickly remove it and just use the sights, or you can even remove, I like to remove only the front sight to just free up my vision up front. And I keep the rear sight on. It helps me see the point, the actual dot, more clearly. So, you know, if you have astigmatism or something like that could really help, leaving the rear sight on, little peep sight. Anyway, so that's about it. I think it's a really nice little gun. It's based on the Powermaster 760, which is probably about half the price of this gun, but you don't get a rifled barrel with a Powermaster. With this one you do. You don't get the cool factor of it. It certainly is appealing, and it's comfortable. It's nice to shoot. So you don't get the adjustability. This could definitely be a BB gun for the whole family. Adults and children alike will find a adjustment that would that would suit them most likely. Anything from a 7-year-old on up. And I guess that's about it. There's a couple of little rails down here that aren't so useful, but that's covered in a lot of other videos and reviews on YouTube about this. So I hope you, if you have one, I hope the BB trick helps you, the little magnet trick. If you don't have one and you're thinking about buying one, I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I've found myself using it a lot. So anyway, thank you very much. That's my video. Hope you enjoyed it. And let's be safe out there.